A major ship crashes into a bridge in Baltimore and makes a collapse with multiple people missing. I got the footage here for you guys in this video. Also, the president of Mexico says that migrants will continue to flood into the United States unless his demands are met. Some people are calling it political blackmail. I'll let you hear directly from the president of Mexico. It's wild. All this and more in this video. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for liking these videos. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Completely free to do so. New videos I'm out every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's jump right in. Okay, the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapses in Baltimore here today with at least 6 people still missing here, which is absolutely just wild, astonishing, and heartbreaking here. Take a look at what happened here today with the footage of it collapsing.
Good morning, Joe. An absolutely surreal scene here at the Port of Baltimore this morning. I can tell you I was coming into the area just after sunrise this morning, and this bridge is visible normally for miles around, and just about 2 miles away you can see the collapsed bridge. You can see the 2 points of the traffic on either side where the highway had gone up to the bridge, and this enormous gap in the middle of the bridge visible in the water below where the highway would have been from, as I say, miles around. This is the Port of Baltimore, Joe. It's a major East Coast hub of commerce and traffic. It is the largest port for automobiles. More than 800,000 automobiles came into this port in 2023. That was the 13th year that this has been the leading port for automobiles on the East Coast of the United States. So an enormous, enormous facility. That just over to my left here as we're coming in, acres and acres of new cars arriving. So you can imagine the scale of the interruption to commerce that will take place here. In addition, of course, to the very human tragedy that happened here this morning. This is still, authorities say, an active search and rescue scene, but we are now some 6 hours after the incident itself. So authorities will be giving more information at 9:30 a.m. And we'll get the latest from them in terms of what they think they're looking at here in terms of the human toll today. Obviously, a tragedy for the city of Baltimore, Joe. This is the highway that runs over the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Behind me is 695. That's a major regional artery. So in terms of traffic in and out and in the surrounding area of Baltimore, that's going to be massively impacted. I-95 itself, it will not necessarily be, but the tunnels in Baltimore will be impacted as well. Clearly, traffic coming into the port will be impacted for some unknown period of time, Joe. The bridge span that is down in the water here just behind me bottlenecks the port itself. So any traffic coming into the Port of Baltimore will be interrupted by this, including the cruise lines. Carnival and the other cruise lines sail out of this port as well. So impacts across the board in terms of commerce, tourism, regional traffic, and of course the human tragedy that we may be dealing with here this morning, Joe, as authorities still try to get their arms around exactly how many are missing and how many are unaccounted for. Back over to you.
Yeah, obviously we're early here. That's what we're thinking about, the human toll, but we can't help but think of Becky pointed out the trucks aren't allowed to use, some trucks with hazardous materials aren't allowed to use the tunnels. They had to use that bridge, so they're going to have to go around. And,
right.
And the bottleneck in the shipping waterway itself, Eamon, there's things that come out of the Port of Baltimore. Someone said 25% of the coal exports, a lot of it comes out of Baltimore. So you got to think of that as well. This is, and it's not going to be a week, 2 weeks, a month. I mean, how long are we're talking? Could be at least
you're talking
a year.
years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I read on this morning on the way up here that they began building this bridge back in 1972. It was completed in 1977. So this is a multi-year process to build these types of bridges. And then just the planning and all the permitting and everything else is years and years, as you know, in this day and age. And of course, dealing with the wreckage here. First, you've got the scene immediately to figure out the mystery of what happened here this morning. So there's going to be an entire process of investigation, then a process of cleanup, then a process of reconstruction. So you're talking about a long, long time. And the scale of this port, Joe, I can't begin to emphasize just how many acres and acres of cars here, but also acres and acres of containers, the shipping containers just stacked 2, 3, 4 high, going back a mile from here. This port is enormous. The amount of commerce that comes through here is tremendous. All of that will be disrupted for an unknown period of time. The economic impact clearly is going to be significant, and you can imagine all the logistics companies right now trying to figure out their workarounds starting today for the next undetermined period of time, possibly years, Joe.
Here's a couple interesting things. 6 people were missing after the collision of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. I think it's actually up to 7. It may go up even further. 2 people were rescued, with 1 transported to a trauma center in serious condition. The missing people may have fallen into the water. And the ship, the Dolly, hit the bridge at around 1:30 a.m., where contractors were working on the bridge, according to Weidelfield. The missing people are believed to be the construction crew who were repairing potholes on the bridge. The ship's crew made a mayday call just before the crash, which stopped cars from coming over the bridge, according to Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Quote, "These people are heroes," Moore said. "They saved lives." I think they're referring to the people on the bridge who actually stopped the cars from coming over in that instance, because that was pretty quick thinking there. Honestly, for the ship that hit, it looks like it hit directly into the bridge, the post there. It doesn't look like it hit it on the side of it. It almost looks like it hit directly into it. Again, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Next up, Mexican president says the flow of migrants will continue unless the U.S. meets his demands. Is this diplomatic blackmail? Mexico wants the U.S. to pay $20 billion to countries, maybe including Mexico, south of Mexico each, and grant political asylum to all these illegal immigrants that have come into the United States illegally, which Republicans would never go for. Biden would probably go for. And, some of these things that he's asking for politically would probably never happen. There's just too much divide between Republicans and Democrats. And yet he says that he could just stop the flow of migrants. I find that hard to believe. How is he just going to stop them? Is he going to build a wall and stop them? If he could, why hasn't he? I remember when Trump said that he was going to make Mexico pay for the wall. Of course, Mexico didn't pay for the wall. Now he's asking the United States to pay all these countries $20 billion each and grant all these people asylum, just make them U.S. citizens, even though they didn't come through the proper channels, didn't do the proper paperwork, just ran across the border illegally. It's just astonishing what he's asking of the United States when no other countries in the world would let this happen. I mean, other countries literally have armed border guards and they don't let this happen. I mean, you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, and I'll keep you up to date here with everything happening. But this is literally what the what the Mexican president is saying. So, wow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Come out here every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click here to see this crazy stuff happening with insurance that is costing millions of Americans thousands of dollars or click here to see what's happening on April 8th. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.